It's Saturday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Tokwe Mark Odige, and I'm really excited to be here. As usual, I have my co-hosts, my people, my Saturday people. It's interesting to be here on the show today. I'm really missing Veronica. Yesterday was her birthday, and she decided to do pew out of here for us. I was preparing to eat cake today, but you know, she just did what she did. We wish you. I know you might want to say, yeah.
Yes. Hello, Veronica. We miss you on the show. Happy belated birthday. We love you, and we can't wait to have you back. We're looking forward to eating cake. In fact, Toby was saying in the group that she was asking her if we should come with an empty stomach, and then she said, reduce your expectations. I'm not around. But then you haven't escaped it. Once you come back,
we're going to celebrate.
We're going to bill you.
You declare for us.
How was your week?
It was good, very productive. Sales were good. We sent out, orders to South Africa, to London, to Kenya.
Is it the glasses or the bag?
The glasses and the wallets.
Oh,
those are our best sellers.
Okay,
yeah. The bag, maybe because of the price range, but then it's a quality product. It's when you receive it that you know that they really invested in this product. We've gotten a lot of great feedback, like, wow, I wasn't expecting this quality. So yeah. We thank God for growth.
You look good.
Thank you.
How you doing?
I
was panicking for you, but I was happy to hear the kids were able to get to school in time.
Yeah, so they fixed the beggar road, so traffic is just very, very seamless. I'm really grateful for that. So it was a very good week one. And so, my hair. So a lot of people have been asking what week this is.
Yeah?
Well, yeah.
Exactly.
Even my son, the first day the stylist at TVC styled my hair, when I got home, my son wanted to pull off my... He said, Mommy, I want to remove your wig. And I said, Fola, it's my hair, right? And that just goes to show that the products I used, my business products, shea butter.
Oh, you use your products on your hair?
And my hair is just 2 years old.
Natural hair products work. They really do.
They
do. And I'm happy that, you know, it just shows culture shift. Now people want to remove their hair. And somebody is seeing your natural hair and thinking it's a wig.
Yeah.
Even with my short hair, I got a lot of,
it looks like a wig too.
Like, is this a wig?
I've been really loving. Yesterday, I took a picture of my hair. I'm like, this my hair has been cooperating this week. Somehow I'll just tie my scarf and then I remove it and we look. I've missed looking like this. This was my look for years, and then I went into wigs. I think that for the first 5 years I was on the show, I was 90% natural, 100% natural self, until the past 3 years before I started doing wigs. But this week has also been very productive for me. I'm very grateful to God. We've had the highs, the low, and the last minute miracles. You know, God always just shows up. I have reasons to praise God. And today, after today, my little baby, I've had a baby in my house for the past 3 weeks. And we are missing the baby already. She's leaving today.
Really?
We've done voice note to beg my senior, my husband's elder brother's wife, that please don't take baby Zoya today. We'll bring her tomorrow because we really, really loved having the baby around. But we thank God for his faithfulness. I'm done.
That's what I wanted to ask.
When we come back, we're going to go through the front pages of the papers. We'll take the stories that are making headlines. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We are starting front page review today with The Punch. But before we go into front page review, I want to remind every one of you to continue to share your stories with us. You know, the stories that you would like people to give you advice on, the burning issues of what you're going through, or some of the stories that you've already gone through the challenges and you're sharing it as a victory story, please share those stories with us. Send it to us via email, yourview@tvccommunications.tv. That is yourview@tvccommunications.tv. You can see it right there on the screen. Munch the screen so that when you have those stories, you can easily share it with us. We'd love to hear your story and use your story to share lessons with many other people. All right, we'll start front page review with the Punch. Today, Saturday Punch, major headline. Nigerian embassies in financial crisis as federal government delays funds. Diplomats, staff face eviction from homes, and they are resorting to borrowing. Wow. Missions should get allocation in foreign currencies, says ex-envoy. Other stories, how I bought hotel where I once worked as laborer. Wow, such a sweet story. Oniba of Iba. Another person says, I didn't plan for distinction. LASU best graduating medical student. Lagos Blue Line unveils modernity, eases traffic, nightmare of traumatized commuters. If a man cheats on me, I will retaliate. That's from Dorothy Backer. That's the sensational story. Akeredolu resumes work and he writes the assembly. Atiku Obi gets certified true copy and prepare for appeal. You're wasting time. Resources going to Supreme Court. Apapa faction tells Labour Party candidate. And RCCG pastor installed as Song begins 7-day rites. Now, that is an interesting story. Who has the story about the pastor that is now the new Song of Omosho?
Yes, I have that. The pastor, he was a former pastor at the Redeemed Christian Church of God. His name is Mr. Gandhi Laoye, but he was made to resign from that post by the General Overseer, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, and he was made to hand over to a certain Pastor Olumide Ogunyegbe. He was installed on Friday amidst a lot of back and forth between the family and the state government. So there's a family member that is claiming that the son was not properly installed. He was not, he's claiming that all the family members were not around or did not make a unanimous decision to install the son. So they've had the matter in court, and the judge actually they set October 3 for the judgment and restrained the governor, attorney general, commissioner.
Yeah, I read that story.
Restrained all of them from actually installing the song until the final judgment has been given. But then on Friday, he was installed. So we'll just see how that story unfolds.
All right, you have your own story.
Yes, I didn't plan for distinction. LASU best graduating medical student. So she was the best graduating student for the 2022/2023 academic session. And she said she just went by her regular activities and she wasn't gunning for that at the end of the day. But she traced her success back to her secondary school. At first, she was an average student, but she found out that she had a teacher who was always encouraging her to do better. Wow. And so in her SS1, she got to be the first in her class for the very first time. And from then on, she didn't look back. So she was always pushing for that stride to always be first. And so in her university days, it became easier for her. And also, she mentioned the role of her parents, her mother especially, in achieving this feat, such that mother was there for her, very present, and ensured that she was always giving the right encouragement. She also mentioned the company that she kept. She wasn't just moving around with people who don't make sense, but she had a kind of friends, being those that knew what they were doing also. And really, she is excited about this feat, but she was like, I never expected it. But that's a big congratulations to Dr. Elile Okoka of the University of Lagos State University.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Dr. Elile.
So there was an interesting story about how the Oniba of Iba, who was formerly a laborer in one of the, a particular hotel when they were constructing the place. How and then he bought the place. Then the story, that was what even made me read the story, only to realize that it had an even more interesting story. In that is originally from Igbesa in Ogun State, and he was chosen by the oracle to be the king, and they did not allow him to take that position.
Wow.
Yes, and then he sort of like came to Lagos and stayed with the Oba of Iba, the Oniba of Iba, and he finally ended up being the one the oracle chose to take over from Iba as well. So it seemed like the oracle really wanted him. The oracles have designed that he's going to be an Oba. Even though they did not give him one particular position, in another state, he got another Oba-ship. Like, it's just a very, very interesting story that what is your own will come to you. You are destined to be Oba. You will always still become an Oba. Let me take The Nation major headline. Upsets as tribunals upturn results in Enugu, Benue, Bayelsa, others. And PDP suffers multiple losses in Ogun State, Yayi, others win. Saturday Nation also carried the story of how bandits burn Catholic seminarian to death in Kaduna.
It's very sad.
Why I stopped lying about my age. Undo Commissioner. Kingmaker installed RCCG pastor as Sonwo of Ogbomoso. Akeredolu resumes, says, I'll be alive to complete my tenure. Biden joins Tinubu others in India for G20 meeting. What story are we taking?
Right. So the Kaduna State Governor, His Excellency Uba Sani, vowed yesterday that the bandits who attacked the Fadan Kamatan parish of the Kafanchan Catholic Diocese late Thursday would not go unpunished. This is such a disheartening story. And according to the CAN chairman of the Kaduna State chapter of the Christian Association of Nigeria, he said that the attack was targeted at the priest of that parish, Reverend John Joseph Hayab. But then he was able to escape just by the whiskers. Unfortunately, this seminarian was in the priest's house, and he was burnt to death when the house was set on fire. And the governor is saying that they would leave no stones unturned. They would ensure that these bandits are brought to book. And the governor has also assured that the troubled communities in Kaduna would be secured. To bring that to light, they have actually recruited 7,000 men and women into the Kaduna State Vigilante Services. So we are hoping that the efforts of the government can really bring the needed peace that these troubled Kaduna communities really need. It's been going on for so long. Exactly. There's always one fight between one Christian community and one Muslim community. And
It's a just rooted issue. It's not topical. It's
Yeah.
not something that is not a seasonal thing. It's been there for years. And to solve the problem, we need to go back to where it started from. You have a story to be.
Yes, Akeredolu resumes, says, I'll be alive to complete my tenure.
We're happy for him.
We're very happy for him because there's been a 3-month break. He went on medical vacation for 3 months, and so he resumed work 24 hours after he got back into the country. And so he met with key stakeholders who include the members of the State House of Assembly and members of the National Assembly also. But he met in his Ibadan home as against meeting in Ondo State. And so it was in Ibadan, he submitted his letter of resumption. But then the Ondo PDP spokesperson, Kennedy Peretti, feels that this is like an insult, considering that the people of Ondo State had prayed for his return. And so upon his return now, he's deciding to meet the stakeholders in Ibadan as against meeting them in Ondo State.
Correct.
So he says that his first point of call should have been Ondo State, where everybody prayed for his quick recovery and returned to his duties. Instead, he headed for Ibadan and instructed all state cabinet members and state assemblymen to join him there. So that's kind of like an opera also saying that, why are you not in your place of
He
assignment.
scared me.
Yeah.
Who knows what
He's
is
probably
there?
scared,
Let's
exactly.
take a break. When we come back, we'll continue with front page review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Doubt and fear.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome pioneer Positive Force member, dancing queen of the 80s, non-conformist, Afrobeat historian in her right, and long-standing member of the multiple award-winning all-female show Your View, Omoyeni Yeni Anikulapo Kuti, aka YK Power. Ginger.
Yeah, take it. Yeah,
Today we'll go here.
Hey, I didn't read you.
Are you sure?
Ha. I'm not here to answer questions. I'm here to drink.
We're in trouble today.
Wait till your age.
I was close now.
Eh?
I said 1975.
He said 73. He said 75.
I confirm.
Fellas wasn't even born in 75.
So will I drink half?
You go drink. Take. Make I help you. Russian.
No be half. I try.
Which half? You will make me drink. I'll give you a hint.
Lights in no. Nepa Road. Nepa Road in Abeokuta.
First of all, my brain cannot memorize everything.
A big black bug.
A big black dog.
A big black bug.
Oh, sorry. A big.
It all starts.
Ọmọ ọmọ fẹlá ọmọ Anikulapo Kuti. Wọ́n rò pé kí ni kékeré yìí.
It's by Audison. It's not by Audison.
Come closer. A little bit more. Perfect. I have exciting news for you. You asked for it and you got it. Your favorite breakfast show, Your View, will be going to 2 hours. We're going to have in-depth analysis of the newspaper review and more conversations on the hot topics. The ladies of Your View and I will be stirring up our guests to get in-depth into all the various topics, and you, our viewers, will have the opportunity to call in and share your views. After all, it's your view. Join us on Your View, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for a fantastic conversation. Don't miss it.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
still reviewing Saturday Nation, and I have the very interesting story still from Ondo State. A commissioner from Ondo State spoke about why he stopped lying about his age. Is a really inspirational story. Grass to grace is how one would call it. He spoke about how he was once a bricklayer, he was once an Okada rider, he was a commercial bus vehicle rider, started from living in a mud house, and now he is a commissioner on budget, commissioner for budget and economic planning in Ondo State. He had a personal experience. He said that his name is Emmanuel Igbason. Said he had a personal experience when he was writing, well, he got a job, and he asked everybody around him that worked in the microfinance bank that how much were they being paid. He was being paid 7,500, and everybody around was earning equally small amount of money. The only person that was earning big money was earning about 40,000 naira. And he asked the person, how long did it take you to start earning 40,000 naira? The person said he has worked there for 16 years.
Wow.
He knew that this was not the way for him to make money, and because of that, he tried applying to other jobs. While trying to apply to those other jobs, his age was cutting him off, so he reduced 10 years from his age, and he got opportunity to get into a very big bank. He passed all the exams until the final one when they did a verification of his age, and they wrote on his CV, they wrote that he performed very well, he is brilliant, but he is a liar. Then he went home that day and tore his CV and said he would never ever lie about his age again. And from that position, God has taken him to working with the Federal Inland Revenue in Lagos. He has consulted with Ogun State, with Oyo State, before he now found himself
in politics
as a commissioner in Ondo State, that he never expected it. He never thought or felt that this was going to ever happen to him. But he's truly grateful to God for the journey. Though he was once an Okada rider, bus conductor, bus driver, he's now a commissioner. And I love those stories.
Yes, when people come out to share their experiences and not just say God did it.
Especially when they put in context the story of when they lied. And now it does not pay to lie. And now honesty served them. And I hope that our young people of today take stories like this and they are inspired by it. I love I want to take the story about Biden joining our president. You know, our president has been in India for the G20 meeting for a while, and Tony Elumelu is also there. There are many industrialists, Nigerian businessmen that are there. Tony Elumelu, in his address while he was there, said that this is the best time to invest in Nigeria. They might look at Nigeria and say, oh, there's economic crisis, there's insecurity, but that's the best time to invest in Nigeria. Moving on to Saturday Vanguard. Let's do Vanguard first. Saturday Vanguard. After the presidential, the PEP's judgment, what's next for our electoral system? Amend constitution, reform judiciary, and INEC. That's what some Nigerians are saying. Then, INEC, judiciary, politicians, problem of our democracy. That's what some other people are saying. NLC draws battle line over Wiki's demolition plan in Abuja. And in Kaduna, sad story of the killing of the seminarian, which we've taken already. How Nigeria's youngest female lawmaker is coping. That's a record breaker. Honorable Rukayat says, we're breaking records in Kwara State. I will be alive. We've taken that story as well. Why I lost Oshun from someone in APC. Interest in renewing, in renewed rail travel waning. I think that's about the fact that many Nigerians are now scared of taking the railways to travel. And NYSC certificate saga. Court okays fresh suit against arts minister. What story are we taking in Vanguard? You seem to have taken many of the stories that are there.
Yes. Yeah, the NLC has drawn a battle line over Wike's demolition plan in Abuja.
Okay.
So, according to the NLC president, Comrade Joe Ajero, in an interview, he said that most of these demolitions are directed at the poor. And he said, I'm going to quote him now. He said, it is impoverishing the masses, and it is done with a level of impunity similar to Hitler's tyranny in Germany. That should not continue because it is affecting more workers. And if you check the people whose houses have
been demolished. It is that class of people that you have not provided housing for.
And he went on to talk about Nigeria's disposition to welfareism. He said Nigerians are left to cater for themselves. They generate their own electricity, their water, and even pay school fees, and there are no provisions for health care. So he went ahead to mention that workers contribute money for housing policies, but it is being diverted. That's according to him. So he said that the NLC will not allow this war against the poor masses in Abuja to continue, and I just can't wait to see how this story unfolds. I really want to know if those houses that are being demolished are actually targeted at the poor, or nobody is being spared. So let's see how that story unfolds.
Okay. I have how Nigeria's youngest female lawmaker is coping. So the Nigeria's youngest female lawmaker is Honorable Rukayat Motunrayo Shitu, and she's 27 years old, representing the Owode Oniri constituency of Kwara State. And so she's giving a brief background of how it is that she rose to the current position that she currently occupies. And she says that it's not that she was just fortunate to be there. As she was growing up, she found herself involved in politics. She found herself involved in corporate governance, even as an undergraduate too. And so she got encouragement from her father, who helped her in achieving this. And so it was the one that really kind of like encouraged her to get into this position. And so the question of how it is that she's the youngest, does she feel intimidated sometimes? And she says no, that one thing she had to just learn is to be constructive in the way that she speaks and in airing her views, knowing fully well that she also owned that seat, right? She deserved the seat, and not feeling like somebody, I'm too young, I can't really speak, right? So the mentality of her owning that seat should be very important. And she also gave credit to the governor of Kwara State, Governor Abdulrazak Abdulrahman, who literally encouraged women to participate in politics. And as a result of that, the North Central is the highest number, is the highest, let me take that. We have 5 women, and that is the highest number in any state in the entire North Central of the country. Looking at this, we can actually say that Kwara State has achieved the 35% affirmative action. And so that kind of like encourages more women at the end of the day to speak up. So she says that so far it's been an interesting ride. Yes, it's not been like the other positions that she'd been in the past, but she's grateful to be here, and she's going to give it her all.
I think that Kwara State should talk a lot about that 35% affirmative. Very few states, and even the entire country as a federal, at the federal level, are not complying with the 35% affirmative. We don't have enough women in position of power. The president promised that we'll have more women, but his ministerial list did not depict that. We are hoping that some form of board appointment will depict that, but we've seen the NDDC. We're not seeing enough women getting appointments, and we do have enough qualified women. So this is just a reminder to our presidents to
do the
presidency to keep to the promise that they made to women when they were campaigning that they should vote for them. There will be more women involved.
Absolutely.
There's a sad story. It's a major story in Saturday Vanguard, and it was talking about the fact that Nigerians are no longer interested in the rail services, detailing several issues that has happened. In March 28, 2022, there was a bombing that happened in the Abuja-Kaduna rail passenger train, where 62 people were injured, 8 were killed. After that, there was a story about derailment that happened in Warri-Itakpe Road, leaving 32 people stranded. They were abducted as well. Then within the same place, barely a month after, 30 crew members, 148 passengers were stranded in Kogi Bush. And that was because the train derailed. The reason for the derailment hasn't been ascertained comprehensively, but we've had cases of people stealing the rail tracks as part of the reasons. Then we had people that were attacked January this year, 2023, with AK-47, and the attack took place on the Abuja-Kaduna train service as well again. Then we talk about rail collision with buses or trucks, that like the one that happened in Shogunle, Lagos, where we lost some lives. So it seemed that we want to do rail. You know, rail would improve speed of transportation, affordability of transportation, and in actual fact, the rail system should be safe. It would just involve a lot more work. So we should study countries where rail system has worked and is working consistently and see what we are not doing, because it shouldn't be this volatile. Maybe because we're starting for the first time, but I feel that rail should be something.
The rail service has been here, exactly.
But the Nigerian Rail Corporation has.
But then Nigerians also, the ones who go to vandalize all those rail tracks, we need to do better. It's an infrastructure that has been built for everyone to have a better life. Exactly. So why do you intentionally go to vandalize such an infrastructure? Exactly. It's just so unfortunate.
It's just poverty at the end of the day.
Poverty is an excuse. Let's move on to Saturday Tribune. This is our last paper for today. Christian leaders, government outraged as bandits burn church with priest. Rivalry among Boko Haram faction worsens insecurity in the north from a report, and Emir accuses ward heads of aiding bandits. Kingmaker installs Olaoye Ashong of Ogbomoso. The governor has resumed duty. He has written to the State Assembly. We flood to south because Buhari's government failed us. This is from a beggar. And Ekiti government's wife demand justice for murder of Federal University Oye student. So that's what we can take off front page review for today. I feel so sad about that we couldn't take the story about how beggars have been flooding to the south, coming to Lagos. There are a lot of beggars. Yesterday, I saw children. They're about
frustrating,
like almost 30 children. It's a huge number of children. These children are probably like between my last born's age. They are all between 7, maximum 10 and below on the streets.
It's a thriving industry. There's somebody somewhere bringing them to Lagos, and then he sends them out. They go to bring money.
That's because
he gets a percentage.
This article says that because
of insecurity.
Because there's poverty in the north, right, and there's no food, they decided to come to the south.
As well, that's what we can take on front page review for today. We'll take a break. When we return, our hot topic today is from the mail. Someone out there sent this mail, and we'll be going into it. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas. It shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table. So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather.
marriage, who is on the verge of completing his divorce process with his wife to marry her. It appeared that this man, she has been waiting with this man for 4 years, and is longer than she envisaged. She has already assumed the role of a stepmother to his children, and it has hurt her because she's a Christian lady. During this waiting period, where she was taking care of the man's children, living in the man's house as well, the children's mother came to take full custody, and it triggered a situation where the man's wife was brought in to take care of her and the children, which later resulted in bad blood between herself, the outgoing wife, and she, the supposed to be new wife. This question now is, this man is working offshore, he's usually not in Nigeria, and he has put her in charge of the family. And his consistent physical unavailability has put her in charge. She's a 43-year-old woman, and she's wondering if waiting for this man is an appropriate move. What are your thoughts? So when we read this, I was trying to understand over and over again. Let me give a bit more perspective. They met in the gym. She's single. He was about to divorce, so she actually waited and was hoping they would get divorced. After the divorce, she moved into the house to help him take care of the children, because the man works offshore, and you know most of those offshore oil workers, they are on for maybe 3 weeks, off for 3 weeks. So she's been taking care of the children, and now she's in that situation where she's not married 4 years down the line with the wife that they are divorced, and she's trying to understand what to do. The kind of advice that is coming from my mouth, I cannot say it because the woman is older than me, and out of respect and out of the fact that she's the one that said the story, but maybe I'll find a nicer way to it. But if I say it the way it's in my mind right now, it will not be nice. So let me let other people lead the conversation. Maybe they would have a nicer way to advise this woman on what she should do, how she should approach it. She's saying she's a Christian woman. We also would like to hear what the audience would think. Is it a Christian? Should a Christian woman be living in a man's house for 4 years? Should a Christian woman be taking care of another man's children without the structure of marriage? You can join our conversation by calling us on 081-764-1679, or you can call us on 090-241-63440. Tweet to us, we'll read your tweets on X, formerly Twitter. So, Damola, your face is no nonsense. Please relax the face.
I'm just pissed because I don't understand why the man hasn't made up his mind within 4 years to marry this 43-year-old woman. He's wasting her time. And just like you said, the advice that is coming to my head is for her to, even though it might come off wrongly, but she needs a backup plan. She needs a plan B. So while you're waiting for this uncle to make up his mind, it is about time that you start listening to other willing suitors, people that are, guys that are interested in you and are willing to make you a wife, because you cannot keep waiting for endless promises. There's an adage in Yoruba that says that exactly. When you have made a promise to someone for so long and you haven't, redeemed that promise, their faith in you becomes shaky. So, as far as I'm concerned, I think she should move on for now. And if the man sees that she's about to move on with her life, it would speed up that decision-making process, as far as I'm concerned.
Toby, what was your opinion?
My opinion, first, I thought about it and I said, not everyone is destined to be married. Like, it's not, but our culture these days just makes it feel like if you're not married, the ring on your finger is like the final bus stop. But at the end of the day, is marriage an end goal in life? So for this lady also, I begin to ask the question of saying that are there other things she must have done with her life? Why is it that she started this course of life when she was 39, right? Because the story says that she's been in this for 4 years. So 39 to 43.
What did she do?
What did she do?
Between 25 and 39.
No, I mean, anything can happen during that phase. But the fact that she was in somebody's house for 4 years, I mean, so what does it take to get married to somebody?
He needs to make up his mind.
Right? And so you see that consistently, this man has been posting you and has been saying that, don't worry, when I you know. And the story even goes on to say that the children actually love this woman. So it's not a question of, are my children in support or not, right? Because the story says that she heard that the children say they prefer her to their own mom, right? So really, and I also want to say that as women, the way we sometimes present ourselves would determine the things that we receive from those relationships. So for example, now you've made yourself available, you've moved, you've stayed there.
You've done wifely roles.
You've done wifely roles, you've done motherly roles. This person doesn't see a need to actually go in search of asking you, asking for your hand in marriage. He feels that, well, she don't date there, she'll be there. All I can do, right? And you know, this very sweet male gender, they have this ability to sweet talk, especially for women that may not have the ability to stand on their own and say that, I'm making this decision today, guy. You they marry, you know they marry, and they come out, right? But a lot of women are seen, especially because of the age, right, where it is that the woman may also think that she's feeling like her biological clock is ticking. Should she stand up and leave? So it may not be so easy for her to say that she wants to just leave, right, and she would rather stay in that. So I think that there are a lot of things that needs to be factored in, and not just say that this woman should just leave and stand up just like that. Thank you for your contributions, because in the time that you have been talking, I've been able to calm down and not give it bass boost. You know, if I wasn't on this side of the chair, I probably would have been able to give it. But as I'm sitting down here, I have to respect the position. One of the things that I have noticed about life is the concept of sunk cost fallacy, where you feel that I have already put in too much. So I want able to explain it. So the idea of sunk cost is to describe a tendency to pursue an endeavor because you have invested so much time and effort into it, even if the costs are not recoverable. Another way is a person is reluctant to abandon a strategy or course of action because they have invested so heavily, even when it is clear that abandonment will become more beneficial. That is what I believe this woman's story is. You cannot recover your 4 years back. It's gone. The 4 years gone. But from this point on, you can choose to make every other month productive by deciding to let go of the 4 years, reanalyze your life and make a decision based on today. But is it easy for
We have been in, there are small situations. There was a day I started watching one movie on Netflix. The movie, as I watched like 15 minutes, I knew the movie did not have head. But I was hoping that somehow, I've spent 15 minutes, let me see.
You'll get better.
Maybe the story will come to life. So I gave it another 15 minutes. At 30 minutes, I looked at myself and said, this is 30 minutes wasted. This story does not have head, it does not have tail. Just give up. My friend watched the story till the end. You know all these Nigerian movies that come out and they are like hyping it. So I went to watch because I was hyping. My friend too was watching. But I'm so grateful to God that I gave up at 30 minutes. My friend watched to the end and regretted that she wasted over 1 hour of her life watching a story that did not have head or tail. Sunk cost. Your time, your life is going. What you are doing with your time and life now, if it is not going to bring you any benefit, you better abandon and give up on the cost you have put into it and move into something else. There were other areas I noted when you were talking. You know, you mentioned at 43. At 43, you're an adult. At 39, you are an adult.
You know.
Full grown. As in 39-year-old. Mature. At 40 is a fool forever. You carry your 2 legs and moved into a house and were raising 4 children at 39 for a man that promised you marriage. Hello.
How are
what
you?
jazz did he use?
But the question, the lady also said she had accommodation issues.
No. Before she had the accommodation issue, she had moved in. According to the story, she had moved in because
I don't understand.
Yeah, and then
let's take this call. Somebody has called in from Oshogbo.
Please let me look at the story again.
Wow, James, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Please contribute.
Yeah, thank you. I actually want to believe there are more to what the lady said. Because if not, I won't believe that a woman will stay with a man for 4 years without any solid arrangement.
Oh.
But if there are no other things apart from what she said, then it shows that she has actually showed herself to be desperate, and that is the man to take advantage of her. And then the other word, when she says she's a Christian, I don't think a Christian will even assume to move into a man's house without him paying the dowries and doing the necessary things which actually qualifies you to be the wife. And the last thing is, the woman that the man already divorced, what is she looking for again in the house of the man that divorced her? So I think there are many things to this discourse than what the woman narrated, which she may need to tell us for us to actually know what to do. But the summary of the advice, if I may advise her, is to leave that place first. If the man is actually interested in her, let the man go to her family, request for her from the family, do the necessary
officially,
get married to her, then they can.
Thank you so much, James. I want to ask you a question. James mentioned that James alluded to the fact that he must have sensed her desperation. Do you believe that she could have been desperate and he took advantage of her desperation to get married?
Right. So a lot of women, when they feel they are getting old, or they feel that they cannot, the number of suitors they are attracting at their age is, reducing. They tend to want to give up desperation, even without them knowing. You find
lower.
Or lower their standards. They'll be saying, maybe my standards are too high. That's why I'm not getting the man of my dreams. And when women are desperate for marriage, they tend to talk about it a lot. So what are we doing? When are we getting married? What do we? So when the man senses that desperation, there's a high tendency for him to actually take advantage of the woman, because he feels at that point he's doing you a favor. And that's why I always tell women, don't let any man feel that they are doing you a favor by marrying you. Both of you have decided to come together to coexist as man and wife. So both of you have benefits that you want to add to each other. So don't let anybody feel like it's a privilege to marry you or take you off the singles market. I would pause now so that we can take that call.
Yeah.
Then I'll continue afterwards.
Adekbega, calling us from Agege. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I joined your program midway, and I think I've heard what you are saying, and I want to pass comment. My comment is very simple, because the case at hand is very simple and very delicate, right? The man that has issues already on ground is as desperate as the woman that is about 39 or what have you that wants to get married. So both of them are desperate. So the issue of desperado is a minor thing there, as far as I'm concerned. Forget about the women getting 45 and child-bearing thing. The issue is that the woman did not cultivate or court the man before she moved in. Again, because the man is having children, the woman did not cultivate the children, right? So the children, when she moved in, one way or the other, she must know that the man loves her or did not love her. If the man did not love her at all, she wouldn't have moved in. I want you to just leave that. Forget about sex. So the woman must have agreed in her mind that together with the man, they will raise the children that are on ground. 2, if God is kind on them, she will also bear her own child or children. But for the future, the woman is not having a stable mind. She must be able, assuming that she moved in, she did not cultivate children. She must have a stable mind that, okay, these children, I'll start to cultivate them. forget about the fact that she has accommodation problem. These children, I will cultivate them. The more she cultivates the children and cares for them, the man will continue to love her. 4 years down the line, Adekbega, I don't understand though. So you were saying something?
Yeah, I was saying that what he said about the man being desperate, I think the man is just a user.
Yes, taking advantage.
Yes, he took advantage of her desperation, brought her into his house to take care of his own 4 children, promising her marriage because he knew that was what she wanted. And a lot of men, that's how they are. They feel that marriage is the end goal for most women. So the first thing they want to put across to you is marriage. I met someone sometime, and then we were talking, and then within 2 weeks you're already talking about marriage, how you want to have kids. I was like, you barely even know me. Why? But
why do you think I want to marry
exactly,
you?
And you just assumed. You just looked at me and said, this is one of my victims. Let me come and put you there. So you have to be smart as a woman to quickly pick up those red flags.
Sandra has called in from London. Let's take a call quickly. Welcome to the show. Good morning, Sandra. What advice do you have for our guest who has given us this email at 43?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I totally agree with you that she's in this strong face syndrome kind of thing. And I think she should leave because she's giving him all the benefits that he needs from a wife. She's taking care of his children, she's cleaning, she's doing everything. She's probably also sleeping with him and everything. So what commitment does he want to give to when he has everything? Men are chasers naturally. So if they are not chasing anything, they are not willing to commit to that thing. Even husbands still chase their wives in the house. You must constantly reinvent yourself as a wife to get that engagement and longing from your husband. Talk less of a woman who wants marriage. If you want marriage, you stay outside. He'll come and marry you into the house. So for me, I think she should leave. If he thinks she's important enough to be a wife, then he should go marry her. But if not, she should move on with her life.
Thank you so much, Sandra. So that's it's alluding to the question I wanted to ask you. I wanted to ask you that, they say you have already given, don't give him everything. If he's already eating everything, what's he going to marry for? Because you've given him everything that he's going to get. If they get married, there'll be no difference in their life. You're already taking responsibility. He's just putting a ring on it. She's doing everything she would have done if they were married. So do you think that it is a wrong thing? And I'm not saying just about this issue alone. I'm saying for women generally to, they say give taste, but don't give everything so that they will not see finish before.
Don't let him unravel you.
The entirety of the package. What do you think?
Should be.
And I know I wanted to also throw you the question about the Christian side because she used the word amix.
I think that one of the most abused or overused words is Christian. Right?
I'm a Christian.
Because the Christian person or the Christian term has some guidelines, and this clearly goes against the guidelines of who a Christian is. You're not married to the person and you're living with the person, so that begs to question the term Christian that you've labeled yourself as, right? And to be honest, I'm not a judge to say maybe she's a Christian or she's not a Christian. I'm just saying, because we all have weaknesses, we all have things that we're dealing with, but that term Christian represents something, and we must, if we're Christians, meant to abide by it. Right?
Before you go into your next thought, I'll take a call from Olanrewaju. He's called in from London. We don't want to keep him waiting for too long. Welcome to the show, Olanrewaju.
Hello, good morning, Sophia.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. We're doing fine. Please go ahead with your contributions.
What I will say concerning this matter, I think that guy, the guy is a user. I won't lie to you. Because he's looking for someone to look after the children, as one of your lady already mentioned. He's looking for someone to look after that children. And he realized that the lady is very desperate to marry, and she's a nice woman. And that's why she allowed her to come in. The woman should move on as quick as she can. don't rely on him. And even though they marry, I don't think it will work. That's my contribution.
Thank you so much, Olaniwaju. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll come back to the second question that I asked Toby. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Ikechukwu, Sunday, Okonkwo, aka Cross. Now your intro without
Wow.
So there's a name that thing that's.
I'm just drinking because you say I should drink. There's no particular answer.
You think it's only that can be wicked?
What's the answer?
Subterfuge.
Eh?
Yeah. They claim you did, but you said it just happened. That
And it's called what again?
Subterfuge.
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 So you look me finish from head to toe. You look at a person who go know what to become such. Yeah?
The nude wasn't like a game plan.
I promise you, it was actually a mistake. Like, it was sending it to someone, and it just...
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table. So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table. So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're...
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing the 43-year-old woman who's been living with a divorcee, raising his 4 children for 4 years. And she's asking us, should she continue in that role as their caregiver, and that, or should she step out and find life on her own? And I asked Toby the question about the fact that she has given everything that should have given in a marriage. So there's nothing to unravel. There's no new thing to bring on board. And so what is going to keep the man, what's the incentive for the man to decide to get married? If I'm not married you, but you're cooking for me, cleaning for me, taking care of my children, doing everything. So I trust you enough to leave you at home and you handle everything. So why should a woman hold back some of her value?
Yeah.
While she's trying to get married, or should she give it all up in hoping that the man is kind enough to be
a kind man to her?
I don't think a woman should give out all her virtues, right? Because looking at this scenario now, if this woman decides to leave and say that she's not doing again, what are the chances that this man would actually go on and say, oh, I've come to my senses, you are the woman for me, right? He may likely go and pick up somebody else who is willing to walk the same path of believing that he would marry and still not get married to her, right? So really, at the end of the day, when I think about it, I'm thinking, is she such an asset? If she's such an asset, why is he not doing the needful? And then that brings me to the question of this Yoruba term that they say, abele janyo, right?
Oh God, just hold on. How do we say it in English? Helping the owner of the fish to fry the fish.
Pikin is not your own. Husband is not your own. But you find out that you are in that relationship or situationship. And at the end of the day, if things happen, what then becomes of you? You've helped this person raise his children. You've helped the husband balance his home. At the end of the day, where if anything happens, so for instance, God forbid something happens to the man, where do you start your life from?
All the inheritance is going to the children.
Nothing is even in your name, right?
Honestly, and that's the sunk cost. That's what the man, the lady will feel like. I've put in so much. I've given him 4 years of my life. I've given him peace of mind when he's divorced. I've helped him to take care of his children for the past 4 years. I've rearranged their life for them. Maybe the children were already going bad. So much that they now love me. I'm a good person. I'm kind. I'm selfless. I'm training another person's child like somebody else can say you should stay. But
and have hope.
Pastor, welcome to the show. We'd like to hear your opinion. Is this lady a Christian lady? How would you advise if she was a member of your church?
So, to God be the glory. Good morning to you, ladies. Good
morning, sir.
In the first place, that lady is not actually a Christian lady with knowledge. That is a Christian by the reason of identification with Christ. Is not actually a strong believer. Because if you are a believer in Christ, you know the rules. You know what the Word of God says. You will have followed the true path. That is one. Secondly, whether you are a Christian, whether you are anything, there are rules guiding everything, even in marriage. You understand? She has left that all those paths going on. On her own way. Nobody was involved. I guess. But what I wanted to say in a nutshell, you better quit that marriage. Listen, when the Bible says, if the foundation be faulty, what can the righteous do? You go back to the foundation and now seek God. Seek the counsel of people. If it's a traditional, let us seek the counsel of elderly people that have been there, then and replan our life. She should quit that relationship because that man too is a playboy. I'm telling you the truth. The Lord bless you. Go in.
Thank you so much, Pastor Adewale. What if she consults with family members or with elders and they say she should wait? How long do you think she can wait for?
The people advising herself to wait. To what gain?
And then we see a lot of, apart from this woman's story that is even 43, we see a lot of ladies that are in their 20s, in their 30s that will get engaged. They will be made the Lord of the Rings. 4 years, 5 years, ring is still on.
10 years.
Exactly, on the finger. How can you engage someone for that long and be dangling the promise of marriage in their faces? That's very unfair.
Is marriage that, should we be looking at marriage like, oh, this ultimate thing that I would do anything to get to?
Of course, no. We've
said,
of course,
we've
already said this.
Shola, come to Toby. Shola, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Tokwe.
Welcome.
Good morning, everyone in the studio.
Good morning.
Let me start with the caller that mentioned Desperado. Number one, I want to disagree with him. The man, if anybody is desperate, among two of them is the lady. The man is not desperate. He only needs somebody he wants to use to bring up his children. Number two is whether she's a Christian or not. Yes, she may, but she has allowed her desperation to make her lose a sense of responsibility as a Christian. Number three, for her going into that relationship is in the first place, having a relationship with somebody that wants to divorce his wife is very wrong as a Christian. And you know, like I said, some people can be desperate as a Christian, and you make it to lose your sense of responsibility as a Christian. Because for somebody that wants to divorce, firstly, the Bible says divorce is a sin. So why should you, somebody that wants to divorce his wife, what if at the end they refuse to divorce your own your state? So the best thing for us now, if the man is desperate, he should have married her within that 4 years. Even
Thank you. Thank you, Shola. So I believe there was a bit of desperation on the man's part, because here he was about to divorce a woman that he doesn't like, and he needed someone to take care of his children because he works offshore. And he needed someone that he knew would be stability. That was mature, because he would not want to put a small house girl in charge of his four children. So he spotted a prey and went for the prey. Saw a lady that was responsible and took advantage of her kindness
and her needs,
to lure her into becoming your dilemu. What do they call it? Opomulero.
She also had
accommodation issues. She was vulnerable. There was there's a personal story I'd like to share. I when I was getting married, one of I have very few, just one friend or two friends that were like, I was even feeling very bad when I was getting married. I didn't have like women. You know, when you want to do wedding, you have like girls, Ashwebi girls. If I was going to count Ashwebi girls, I don't think I could have gotten 3 women that would have won Ashwebi girls for me. It was just Toby that would wear for me. This particular lady, we did lesson together to enter into secondary school. That long, and I've known her. And when she was getting married, she came to me and she was like, Tokwe, you're so lucky. Look at you getting married. You're pretty. You're kineko. And she was like, I don't even know how I'm going to do my own life. I now looked at her, and I took a pen and listed for her how she was, what she had to offer a man. She's a very beautiful girl. You know, those ones that even if they lose all the weight, their hip is still going to be waist 24, hip 44.
Wow.
Like, she's that kind of proportion. Very, very shapy. I said, look at you, you have very nice shape. She said, no, but I'm short. You are tall. I said, don't worry, all of us, God gave us different things to balance.
Yes.
Yes. She was a good cook. I had to help her list what she had as value. She was a good cook. She's enterprising. She has finished from school. She had was already working at that time with then Etisalat, and then she still had a cold room. Like, I made her, when I finished talking to her, even she was surprised that she had this much advantages.
Yeah.
You know, they were saying sense of clinical, sense of identity, and sense of self. Sometimes we look at ourselves and we don't see what we have. We don't see our worth. We don't see our value. If there's anything God has given me, right? Even when I did not have shaping in my pockets, I felt like I was.
You are not even tall again.
I used to call myself like Tokpe Omo Dubella.
Exactly.
Like full spec. If I enter your life, you are blessed.
Exactly.
So I have that sense of like I have something of value to give. Every woman needs to have a sense of their value. Make a list of what you have. If you are single or you are married. Even in marriage, sometimes you get married and you get lost into Mrs. Lagbaja and you forget what you are bringing into that marriage. You begin to think that you are nothing outside that man. You need to do a list of what you bring to the table. So this our guest, this person that sent us our email, I need her to do a list. She's a kind person. She's a good mother.
Yeah.
A man has left you with 4 children and the children prefer you to their parents. You are doing a good job. She's a good mother. She's a good custodian. She could manage the house when the man is not available. No emergency. She could take charge.
She even left everything.
She left everything to the
4
children. At the same time, she's obviously enterprising. And if she was not doing the other room, I'm sure something would have scattered. So she has value. And it's important we all make a list of our values. So that we don't see one man dangling something small in front of us. I wrote it at the first. I said, even as a single girl, I did not wait for 4 years. Me, I did not even as a single young girl, I didn't wait 4 years. Talk less of you
have
being
experiences
in your 30s. So please, let me take
some
wisdom.
people may not be as aware as you are.
Yeah,
that's why we are here. Yes. So I was also going to talk about the emotional connection this woman may have built with the children. So we may say, 4 years, stand up and leave. But we don't know the bond she has created. And you know, women are really, really gifted in that, in building connection.
You see this your
that
emotional.
Sunken,
Sunk cost.
Sunk cost that she was talking about.
Stuff. We'll talk about it. Let me take Lisa. Lisa has called from Okearo. Lisa, do you have a personal experience of something like this? Or you just want to advise emailer?
Or narrator.
Narrator. Thank you for giving me the English. I've been using guest email. Go ahead, please. Do we have Lisa there? I think we lost the call. So, emotional.
Yes, so we can't really blame her.
Causes problem.
I even have a perspective on the emotions as well, but I'll let Toby finish. She's done. Okay, so the man might be a good man if we want to look at it on the flip side. But then he has emotional connection issues, commitment issues, because he just left a marriage. And that is why it is a huge that's why it is a huge red flag if you go into a relationship with a man or a woman that has not totally healed from their past experiences. They would project their insecurities on you, their fears, their past trauma, and you'll be made to cater to a grown man. You'll not be the therapist, and you are damaging yourself. As you're trying to,
you are being traumatized by their own trauma.
You're now because you think that you can help them to become better emotionally. You're also damaging yourself, giving your all.
So it brings the question.
So exactly. So
is
let
it
your
worth
man
it to marry
heal.
someone who is divorced?
How
do you marry a divorcee?
Make sure that they have totally healed.
And they totally heal.
They can. They can.
Let
me give you a personal experience. A lot of men will say, "Oh, I cannot marry. I'm a single mom. I have a 13-year-old boy," and there are a lot of notions out there that single moms, they're looking for who to take care of their child. Oh, they have broken. They haven't healed. They haven't that. But I have never But I have never had to give off that kind of vibe.
You are not carrying that trauma.
Exactly. I did not carry that trauma. In fact, I have moved on. If you ask me what really happened then, I cannot give you word for word because I have forgotten, I have moved on, I have healed.
We'll try and break down the process of healing that people should look out for. Mary has called in from Just. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Papa. Yeah, thank you. I started that lady, she either make it a business. Staying there. She has, so that she will have something she gains. Then later, if anything happens, she will look back. She will not really regret it like that. Either a business or she leaves the house. There is no need. She should just detach any emotion she has on those children. Maybe she's attached to them. She can detach it. She can something she can work on. So
Thank you so much.
This is her life.
Thank you so much, Mary.
Absolutely.
She should make it a business. That's another option
Let's go for our caregiver.
For our narrator.
Abi?
Yes,
Caregiver
she should
be
come in
earning
as a
an
caregiver
income.
and be paid.
Absolutely.
But I want us to go back to how to marry. How do you marry a divorcee or from her story, a single mother? You know, people that they carry labels. The
society puts labels on them.
That you're divorced or you are a widow, and they're trying to say, how should we go into that relationship? Because we understand that for many people, they're not like you, Damola. Damola, you've taken ownership of your journey.
Life,
and you have made something out of your story, that you don't take it as a bad, it's not a story, it's life, and you have moved on and you're doing well. Not many people are like that. Like, take your flowers, Damola, it's a big deal. But there are some people who have gone through what you've gone through, and 13 years after, they are still in their dreams awake, cursing the man.
Exactly.
They are still saying that man destroyed their life. They are still seeing it as, this is such a horrible experience for me to have gone through. Such people, you should not be marrying them.
Exactly.
If someone is divorced and they are bad-mouthing their ex over and over again, she's a horrible mother, or this one,
absolutely,
stay away. Because it's a sign that you are still in that relationship, and you are living in that trauma. Even if you married a horrible person and the person was evil to you, when you are divorced, let it go. That is the healing that can make you a good person to marry.
Exactly.
So
because you just give off that vibe, you know, that confidence vibe. I can tell you, the singles or the divorcees or the married ones, I'm the one still choosing. Okay, which one? Do you understand? Because I have built up myself, just like you said. I have not allowed my experiences, to shape me, to color me. And then it is how you actually present yourself that people would. You teach people how to handle you, because if you give off that insecure vibes, they will definitely think that, you're not someone to be with.
In your masterclass.
Yes, so single and proud.
Single and proud.
How to be single. How single mothers can build their confidence. I have different topics for you. I can manage it for you. Don't worry. Let's discuss it.
Think about
the break. No, we're not going to break. We're taking the caller. Someone has called us from Yola. Welcome to the show, Karen. A lot of women are calling on the show today. It's something that probably feels relatable. Do we still have our caller from Yola available?
Yes, I'm here.
Welcome to the show.
Well, I'm a first-time caller.
Oh, welcome to the show.
Okay. So, I really want to contribute on this issue.
Please go ahead.
Honestly, I would say 4 years is too outrageous. The woman should just move on.
Please don't listen to yourself.
He just wants to say that the woman should just move on.
The woman should just move on. So,
short and sharp.
Let's come back to the story, the fact that she was having accommodation issues. Let's say that it was the accommodation challenge that drove her to living with a man. Is that justifiable? Is the fact that you're having accommodation issue, does it justify you living in another man's house?
There are other, she may have had other relatives that she would have. She may, that's why I said may. Friends, people that. And if the guy really loves you, at that point, maybe he would have even given you money to rent an apartment and then say, let's finalize this process. Or maybe you yourself would have pushed for it to say, when is this thing happening? But the fact that you are giving it all on a platter, there's no how. And I also wanted to mention, apologies, about the fact that sometimes when couples separate, right, they feel that the onus is on them alone to take care of the child. In this case, it's not that the mother was dead or the mother traveled out. Why don't you send the children to the mother? And I think a lot of people have that mindset that because we're now fighting, I take my children along with me and not even have, even though you don't have the means of caring for the child, and then you bring another person into the picture, that you're already altering the person's course of life. The person they go, you now went to go and bring your own top.
See this man now just
derailed
for 4 years. Let's take Tessie from Abuja. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Hello.
Welcome to the show, Tessie. Good morning.
Good morning, Sophie.
Good morning.
I'm calling from Abuja. So I just want to say a personal experience. This thing even happened just yesterday. So I met this guy like 2 years ago. So I just have a personal reason why I did not date him. So he wanted to get married to someone, so they broke up. And after they broke up, like he fixed it for wedding and everything, something happened and they broke up. So when I met him, the way he kept talking about his ex-family, he insulted her mother, insulted her father. The way he talked about their family, I was like, what? One day this guy would do the same thing to me. I was very sure that if something happened, my family, this guy will insult my family very well. I was like, I value my family so much. I didn't want to be in the friends with this kind of person that something will happen. He will not let go. He will bring everybody. Like all your family insult him. I was like, no. It seems he's still hot about what happened. Let me just stay away. So yesterday when he just asked me what happened, so I will start telling him, this is what happened. This is why I did not text you. He was like, hey, this is so sensitive of you. You are using my child marriage to judge me. I was like, no. If that's what to do like that, I just feel like if something happens, you should actually talk to your fiancé, not her family. You shouldn't join everybody like that. So the reason why I just stay away from you is the way you speak ill about her and about her family with so much bitterness. I cannot be with this kind of a person. So
Tessie, that's emotional intelligence. She was sensitive to hear. She said she met a guy. She was going to date the guy, and in their conversation, the guy spoke about his ex with bitterness, dragging the woman's family, and she ran away from the guy. Said she now saw the guy yesterday after many years after a long time of not ignoring the man, and the man said, "You're judging me based on my divorce." And she was like, "No." You can be divorced and angry with the woman, not to start dragging the family. I value my family too much. I don't want you to get in that situation. And that is it. You must be sensitive.
Absolutely.
Very, very. But let's talk about age. You know, sometimes, you see, me, sometimes I feel like I shouldn't even, like I'm not the right person to have this conversation because, like, I got married early.
How old?
And I got children early so that I can calculate my age.
Apologies.
But she doesn't know the age of your children.
You will still do birthday. Everybody will still.
But all of us, some people, they won't do their 40th on their 40th year so that people will not be able to calculate. Some will do before and after. Don't worry, my age is very public. I got married at 25, and I think I had twins at 28, 27, 28, thereabouts. So I had children. So you want to give advice, they look at you like, but you got married, you kidiko, you can't talk. But the truth is, when people get older, their specification, their glasses that they used to do specification, it begins to blur. They begin to look at divorcee as, oh, bad. They will look at a short man that, he's short. He's a human being. They will look at his pockets that, I will support him financially. Like, as people get older, the age seemingly reduces their expectation or their checklist before getting married. And there's a societal pressure that makes them feel like the reason you are single in your 40s or 50s is because you were picky when you were younger. Let's address that. We don't have much time, but I'd like us to address how can we help the single person. And of course, it is going to be you that will do this masterclass, mini masterclass for us on the show, Dabola, because you come across as, you cannot press, don't press. Dabola just has this vibe like, please, don't introduce me to anybody. I'm okay. As in, like, your glass, your lens is still very sharp.
Still very sharp.
You are not reducing your expectation for anybody. I know we have a call. We'll take the call and we come for our masterclass. Femi has called us from Ado. Kemi has called us from Ado Ekiti. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning. I am actually, I'm not really going to talk to what you guys are discussing. I actually want to talk to Damola. Please, Damola. I need your contact. I need the glasses and the wallet. Please. In fact, you can't believe this morning I had to send a message to Morayo to help me get your contact.
Please,
Okay, just Instagram. Just go
on,
to our Instagram handle.
Be a distributor.
Please,
okay.
this is business.
Yeah.
Instagram, just go quickly on Instagram,
Please,
send a
can
DM.
you get across to me?
Okay, just follow me
on Instagram at Oyedamola
Or
Akinsanya.
we'll take it off air and drop your number for the producers. They will take your number upstairs.
Please,
Thank
Damola,
you.
please.
It's fine.
The glasses is very fine, don't
Thank
worry.
you.
It's just, I'll do recommended one and model for you.
Thank you.
Recommended one for me. But we're talking about a very serious topic, and the truth is many women and even men, as they get older, fall under the societal pressure to start changing what they were expecting in their partner, because they are told that maybe it is because you are being too picky that you haven't settled down. How does one deal with societal pressure as a single person, and how do you remain focused on what is important to you even as you get older?
Okay, so I'll share my own personal experience and how I've been able to deal with societal validation. I live life on my own terms. I do not allow anybody dictate how my life should be lived. As long as I am happy, then you cannot tell me anything. And then it is important for single people to note that their single period is the time that they have to develop themselves. You know, you can go for a course, ensure that your business is thriving. If you're a career person, ensure that you are putting in your best. Because one thing that I hate or that I dread the most is for you to be old and broke. So
at least have something.
At least have something, because if you're at least financially stable, the anxiety is off. You cannot, nobody can pressure you. You cannot start settling for less.
Absolutely.
Because you want to feel you have needs to cater to, and then you cannot provide for yourself. It is very important, especially for women. As you're growing older, be developing yourself, because the more you develop yourself, the more you attract the kind of man that you really want. And also for societal pressure, please, we've said it every time, the fact that a woman is not married does not diminish her achievements. Don't say because she's not a Mrs., then you are not going to regard her. And as a woman also, just, be comfortable in your happiness. Be responsible for your own happiness. Don't put your own happiness in someone else's hands. Because some people think that until they get married, that's when they will be happy. No, you can be happy all by yourself before you find a man that can complement you. He's coming to complement you. He's not coming to give you happiness. Because it is when you are happy that the man will see you and say that, okay, this happiness, this is what I want in my own life as well. There are a whole lot of factors that we can talk about, but I don't know if we still have time.
Let's take a break.
Yeah.
When we come back, honestly, at the end of the day, this woman's story has opened up a lot of other talking points for us, and we'll try to talk on those ones before we wrap up. But we'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with the conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the one who can make time stand still forever, Mr. Kelechi Amadi. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, my brother.
You love that intro, Abby?
Yeah. It was great.
Okay.
Thank you.
We try like that.
Thank you.
Now my question, which I feel is a cheap question.
Oh, go ahead.
What does ISO stand for?
That is it. I think I'll drink.
No, you're joking.
I'm not joking.
Kelechi Amadi. No. Shay, you didn't whine me. You're whining me now.
I think I'll drink.
Huh?
No problem.
Okay.
I've always known this as ISO. I never bothered to know what it means. I know what it means, but I never bothered to know what the acronym is. Tell me the brand of camera that I use.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing the hot topic that was sent in via email to us about a 43-year-old lady who has been living the past 4 years with a divorced man, raising his 4 children, and she was asking us if it is time for her to step out as a Christian woman or she should still stay. How long should she wait? She was asking for our opinion. The majority carries the vote. Everybody feels like the sunk cost is huge, 4 years of your life gone, step out and you have a lot of value to give. However, let's see what social media will be telling us from YouTube or from Twitter. X.
So, Muda Lawal is saying on X that, good morning, ladies. Please try and hear from the man. So, we don't want to hear from him. He has wasted that time.
It wasn't the one who sent the story.
Exactly, because how long, like you said, how long does it take to marry a woman? Show her some commitment, because that's what she wants. She has given her own self into it. Then, so Ola Johnson said, this guy in our cruise. And... Olutaji Olorunfemi is saying the annoying part of her story is where she called herself a Christian. This assertion is killing Christianity. How can a Christian woman involved in extramarital affair for 4 years? 4 years, for God's sake.
On YouTube, we have Tractor Friday. He says everything is attached to religion in Nigeria. Deal with the problem and forget this religious attachment, please. Truth is truth says Bible never said divorce is a sin. God said I hate divorce. A caller said that earlier and he's trying to refute it. So Surah Aderonke Adefioye says maybe the man has seen some qualities in her he can't condone and is just letting her stay put until he sees another person. That's another angle. Yasmin Maman says at this point, unraveling the package is not the point. She has already given her all. The point is, what can she get out of this union ASAP?
That's a good question. You have given 4 years. This man obviously is not a poor man. What can he do for you?
Exactly.
Should she make a demand? Should we advise her to make a demand?
Of course, they need
buy
to put
me
it on the
a house,
table.
buy me a land. My mouth
No, I don't. So at the end of the day, when she does that, what happens?
I don't think she's going to walk out at the end of the day. Now. We've agreed that she should leave.
What if the man now? What if he now says, I saw a similar story on your view. Let's go and get married.
I don't think the man is financially stable like that because he traveled abroad for greener pastures, according to her.
But he was doing offshore work, so he's not.
He was doing offshore work, yeah, and then he traveled abroad as well for greener pastures, maybe for the passport. You know, there are some people that are comfortable here; they still go abroad to go and get that paper.
She has to get something off that.
Exactly.
But she should not use it as an excuse to wait. But I think that's a good thought.
Yeah.
So she should ask
something to compensate
something.
her for her time.
Our final call for today, I believe. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. My issue is I think you ladies should try and get the man's side also.
Okay, you're the second person.
Maybe they had an agreement as to what's happening. I don't want to believe someone that is 39 years and has stayed for 4 years will do something like that without any real reason. Even if the man is trying playing that, there must be something. Maybe the man said, oh, I'm not telling you I will marry you, just do it. Maybe there was a kind of agreement, mild one. And then she kept hoping it would get deeper. If you agreed on something just mild, you get to blame the man. If you say, oh, just be there for me, let's see how it goes. He has already told you the condition. You are the one hoping for more.
Thank you, Tokumbo. You know, there are some people that are not in relationship. Some people are in the relationship by themselves. The person they are dating already told them that we're just seeing how it goes. But in their mind, they have gotten married.
The guest on the other day that said he's in a relationship.
But our guest, please.
I wish I was on the show.
I wish I was not on the show.
Are you
but
serious?
let's talk about it. But there are many men in that situation that they have told the girl that we're just seeing how it will go, and the girl in her own mind is hearing we will get married soon. So we might need to. She might need to think back to the situation. What exactly did he say? Did he commit that he was going to marry you?
I think, according to the story, I think he committed. He said that he didn't want to rush things, but they would definitely get married. And for every time she asked him for an update, he would say, just calm down.
In 10 years' time, Abby.
I would do it.
In 10 years' time. So because
he actually promised her. He didn't say, let's see how it goes.
Let's see how it goes.
Yes. It needs
Please,
to be defined.
Young girls of nowadays,
yeah.
let's see how it goes is not a commitment.
Yes.
Let's see how it goes can apply to you and 5 other women. He's seeing how it goes with you. You are cooking on Monday. Another person that he's seeing how it goes with is cooking on Tuesday. Another person that he's seeing how it goes with is cooking on Wednesday.
In his offshore location.
He has another person he's seeing how it goes with. So seeing how it goes is not a relationship. And I think that if you want a real relationship, then you should define what you want and be willing to wait the long haul. Do you have a final message or a final comment before we round off on the show today?
I just think that women need to do better. Women need to know their worth as women. I mean, the term woman is a unique individual that carries so much. You may not know it at the beginning of your life, but as you unfold, as time goes on, you find out that you know that you are not just, may not be like, say, I just, you know, just come like that. So I think that women should please begin this journey of self-discovery, because it is in that process you begin to identify the things that you represent, the things you can take and the things that you cannot take, your deal breakers and things that will just make you say, this one, no, I can't, I'm moving.
All right, final comments.
In fact, she has summarized my thoughts. As a woman, you need to know what you want, because it is when you know what you want that you can refuse what you do not want. And in your singlehood, please enjoy it, discover yourself, grow spiritually and financially. Just enjoy life and don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself.
So,
Ireo.
You know, the thing, we've said everything that is needed to be said, but don't wear labels on your life. You know, you're single above 40 or single in your 50s or single mother or divorced or widow. Don't wear any label, and heal from your trauma. And if you are going into a relationship, ensure that you are emotionally intelligent enough to sense if that person is going through trauma and step back and preserve your own sanity. And finally, don't let anybody pressure you to do what you don't want to do. They are not your creator. Absolutely. Your creator has not put you on a timeline. Your creator has all time in his hands. So live and fulfill your purpose. You will be fine. That's all we can take on our Saturday show for today. I'm sure you learned something. See you